Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card video. Today I'm using the Star Medallion Stencil by Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to take this off so you can see how pretty and detailed this is. I'm going to take a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock cut to A2 size, and what I'm doing here is marking the center so I can make sure that I center the stencil. So I'm going to do it both ways, and where those two dots meet is where the center is. So I'll just make sure that the center of my medallion is right where my pencil mark is, and then I'll carefully flip this over. I'm going to use some masking tape to hold this into place. You could also use surgical tape, but since I'm running it through the Big Shot, it might stick a little too much, so that's why I'm using the masking tape. But you want to be careful because it is loose until you run it through the Big Shot. All right, here's my sandwich. I have tab 1 of the original platform, the acrylic plate, and then I'm going to flip it over so that my stencil is facing the bottom. Then I have my rubber pad here on top, and then finally I have this impressions pad by Sizzix. It's just a little thicker than an acrylic plate, and that is my complete sandwich. So I'm not going to show you what it looks like yet because I want to ink it up before I pull the stencil off. I'm using some Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink. I'm going to move from the center to the outside, changing my colors as I go. Next, I'm using Broken China, so I'm going to do a little bit further out with this color. I love using the oxide inks for ink blending because it goes on so easily. All right, finally for the outside, I'm going to use tumbled glass. I don't have this in Distress Oxide. I don't even know if they make it. So I'm just going to use my regular Distress ink. And if I go over the outside of the stencil, that's going to be fine because that is going to actually be black. So I'm just going to finish this off here until I get to the end. And then for the areas that are outside the stencil, I'm going to mask off the stencil and color that with my Black Soot Distress Oxide. This is going to provide a frame around my design, and also it'll complement the sentiment that I'm going to put in the middle. All right, so I'll take that off and move on to the next corner. I'm just going to repeat this process for all 4 corners. And now it's time to take off my stencil. So I'm going to carefully remove it. And it's really hard to tell in the video, but the areas that are inked up are also raised, so it's really pretty. That'll do it for my background. So now I'm going to work on the middle of the card. I have my We Are Memory Keepers nesting circle dies. I'm going to cut the 2 1/4 inch circle out of some vellum. I'm using the word love from the Penny Black Love and Joy die set, and I'm going to cut that out of some black cardstock. The second part of my sentiment is from the Simon Says Stamp Love set. I'm going to stamp that on white cardstock with VersaFine black onyx ink. And now I'm going to position those 2 elements in the center of my vellum, and I'll mark where the E of the love is so that I can place it right back where I pulled it off. I'm going to put some 2-way glue behind it and then just press it down right there on the circle. And then same thing with the second part, put some 2-way glue behind it, and so they're both hanging off the edge. I'll flip over this vellum piece and I'm going to put glue behind the love sentiment as well as that white strip so that it doesn't show through my vellum, and then I'll center that in the middle of my background panel. I'm going to take some ATG tape runner, put it on the back of this and adhere it to a folded Nina Solar White card. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail with some sequins. I have my Stampin' Up! Metallic sequins. They don't sell these exact ones anymore, but they do have a set, and I'll link to those. I also have my Moonshine sequins by Simon Says Stamp, and those are really, really small, and that's why I like to use those. I'm going to use my pick-me-up stick and some multi-medium matte to glue these sequins onto my card. I have a clear, a silver, and a black sequin at the top and the same at the bottom, and I'm just kind of randomly placing them. There's not really a pattern. I've used almost all of the black sequins in this pack. I just use them all the time. I think it's a great highlight for a card. And that is the card for today. So I hope you enjoyed that technique and you'll try it for yourself. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.